welcome back to another YouTube video. And as I always say, it's been a minute because we get busy with life and whatnot. But Merry Christmas to those who celebrate it. Happy holidays to those who have any other holidays that you're doing. Today is World Juniors Day, which is a big day for me because I love the World Juniors. Um, it's the day after Christmas, and yeah, the games are already going. But I want to come on YouTube real quick and give you guys a bit of an update, quick updates, as well as just like a little preview of which which Bruins prospects you maybe want to look out for that aren't like currently on the team, that are playing either across the pond or in international competition. There's a few guys on the Spengler Cup teams for the U.S. Collegiate Selects, and of course, we have a couple prospects playing on the World Juniors team, as well as just some overall info on that. Just want to do that real quick. Just want to hop back on this app and say hello. I hope everyone's doing well. Um, Thought I'd give a little me update as well. I, as I keep saying, I want to keep doing YouTube more, but it's hard to kind of find an hour where you can sit down, record, edit, do the whole shebang of footage. But I'm gonna try and do it more in 2026. It's something I want to continue to do. It's something that I believe in, and I just think it's a really relaxed, laid back way to just kind of do this long form content where I can talk to you guys. So, anyways, the few me updates, real quick. I just want to talk it out. Um, yeah, for New Year's and for the next like 10 days, I'm gonna be across the pond. The women's hockey team in for BU has a tournament in Belfast. It's for the what's the tournament called? Oh my god. The Friendship Four. The women's team for Boston University, they're competing in the Friendship Four. I forget what other three teams are in it, but it's supposed to be a pretty fun tournament. Me and the hockey blogger going there, and I think it's gonna be pretty fun. Let me know if you guys want me to keep y'all updated on that stuff because yeah, it's gonna be quite the trip. But we're doing that. I fly out, I think on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. So that's gonna be fun. Can't wait for that. But yeah, no, the Bruins invited me to a hockey game. That was pretty cool. They gave me a jersey right there. I'd move my camera, but it's kind of an optimal position. But it was pretty sick. Got to go there, meet a lot of great people, watch the game. Unfortunately, they lost, but it's always fun to go and I never thought I'd be able to say that the Bruins invited me to a hockey game. Like what? Like that's insane. Like I've said it many times, but that's all thanks to you guys. Like dream come true. Never thought I'd see that coming, but nah, that's all thanks to you guys. Like you guys interact with my content every day. You give me a reason to wake up and pursue my dream, right? And I get to discuss all this stuff with you guys. Y'all make it possible because you engage with it, you indulge in the content, and we have great conversations all the time in comment sections, through my stories. Like you guys bring great thoughts to the table, and that's why I do this because I love talking about the Bruins. Like I said, this video is going to be previewing a few or players that are in international competition. So there's two notable international competitions happening right now that I can think of off the top of my head. There's the World Junior Championships, which are in Minnesota, which are happening right now. Sweden's playing Slovakia as this video is being recorded. So just keep that in mind. And then we have the Spengler Cup, which is in Davos, Switzerland. I think I'm saying that correctly. But the United States sent over a college hockey all-stars team, if you will. They're called the U.S. Collegiate Selects. I think it's like I want to say this is the first time they've done it, but there might have been a team like way back when that did it. But it's like an all-star team of a bunch of like college hockey's best and two Bruins prospects around that as well. So I just want to hop on here real quick and kind of preview them for you guys. I'll be trying to cover these players as much as I can while I'm on my trip. I know I'll be covering BU women's hockey, but I'll also be trying to do my best effort to keep up with the Bruins themselves. And of course, like the prospects. Like I try to do that as much as I can, but I want to give you a bit of a preview without further ado. First player we wanted to talk about in terms of the prospects thing, who else? James Higgins. Higgins in his sophomore season at Boston College, he's buzzing. He's got 18 points, 10 goals, 8 assists for 16 points with the Eagles this year. He's really been like taking over as a play driver. From the clips I've seen him, he's shooting more. I believe he said one of his goals this year was to be more of a shooter, to like shoot the puck more and score, and he's doing that. You know, most great players have like more assists than they do goals, and to see him have 10 goals, it's pretty good. I want to say he has one of the best chip ratings. If you don't know what chip is, it's college hockey individual point value. And I want to say he's one of the top players in that category, which takes into account like who could win the Hobie Baker. So those are high honors for a guy who fell to seventh overall. But yeah, no, James Higgins, I think he's an alternate captain for Team USA at the World Juniors this year. So and he's got some heft to carry. Obviously, USA is a very good team, but he's gonna have to be that top line guy. I'm really excited to see what he can do because we know the ability he has on offense and just overall his ability to just take over a game. We've seen it done before. I can't wait to see it in a best on best tournament like this. So it's always fun to see that. Second, second on this video that I want to talk about is someone who originally wasn't even supposed to, or not wasn't supposed to, didn't even make the initial like the preliminary roster, like the first roster that came out for this team. Team USA, when they originally came out with their preliminary roster, mind you, the World Juniors is an under 20 tournament, right? When they came out with this roster, Will Zellers was a player that wasn't on it. And I think it was surprising for not just Bruins fans, but a lot of people as well. Like, Will Zellers is dominating NCAA with North Dakota, especially on the power play too. But just his scoring ability, it's translated well from the USHL to NCAA. Like he's fitting into NCAA like really good so far, and you could see it in the highlights. I mean, the guy's just a scoring machine. 10 goals along with James Higgins. He's scoring 5 assists in 18 points. So, you know, when he originally was left off the team, a lot of people were like, what's going on? Why is this guy not added to the roster? What is USA thinking? And then later, I want to say a couple days later, the US eventually did add him to the preliminary roster and he played well, proved it. I think he scored 2 goals against Germany and like the United States like 8-0 win. It was obviously like pre-tournament play, but he kind of showed what he can do. Like he continuously is proving people wrong, I guess you could say. So to see him actually make the cut for Team USA, it's a feel good story. It's a feel good story for Will Zellers. And another thing I want to point out is that Zellers back in summer during the prospects, not the challenge, oh my God, I go to it every year. Dev camp at development camp. I remember him in an interview saying, he goes, I can't believe Higgins fell to 7. He was asked about Higgins. He goes, I can't believe he fell to 7. That's a guy like I want to play with hopefully sometime in the future. Well, guess what, Will? It's way closer in the future than you think, only a couple months later. So it's pretty cool that was spoken into existence. So good on Will Zellers. You hope to see him as he can play in any spot in the lineup realistically, like with the way some of his former coaches have described him. I don't want to call him Brad Marchand light, but like Marchand's a smaller guy who can score, who can play in and around the lineup. But I really look at Zellers as a person who could probably be a good option, like on the off wing on the United States' power play too. So I can't wait to see that. Like, I hope that's something for him that he can take advantage of. Like, realistically, what we want to see, I mean, being from Mass, all I want to see is like USA win. But I also want to see these two Bruins prospects on USA dominate, and I hope they can. So seeing Zellers on there, it only just like it's a great come up story, and it also just goes to show what a trade. We'll do a little trade grades from last year's trade deadline if we do a YouTube video at some point. But yeah, that trade with Colorado, getting Zellers in there. First, I heard of the name on March 7th, but man, am I glad that was included in that trade. But anyways, the third player we want to talk about in terms of Bruins affiliation is Vasek Blanar. And Blanar, we are a huge fan of here over on the Marcusi channel. He's a defenseman, fourth round pick, 100th overall. We also got a good glimpse of him at Dev Camp. He's got 10 points in 18 games played in the U20 National in Sweden. So he's been offensively, he's had some pretty good highlights too. You can see that he's not afraid to try certain things, slice through defenses, and get into grade A scoring areas and take advantage of it, right? Blanar is definitely a raw defenseman. It's a defenseman prototype that you want to see the Bruins take. And I've talked to a few people who've watched like HV71, his junior team, and they say like Bruins got to steal. Like so that's a confidence booster hearing that. The clarification here, Blanar's Czechian. He would be featured as the third player, but as of this video, Czechia is having some injury issues on their back end. They only named 6 defensemen to their current roster, right? So this is a bit ticky-tacky here on this subject. But Blanar is still in contention to be named onto Czechia's roster, right? So Radim Murtka, Buffalo's draft pick in the first round, he's a defenseman as well, and I believe they are waiting on his injury status to see if he can play. We'll know by later tonight. I probably won't get this video out until tomorrow. But, even if Blanar is on the roster, even if he's not, for a fourth round pick at the age of 18 to be considered for a national team's under 20 team, to be considered in that spot as an 18-year-old, to be considered in that spot as a fourth round pick on what arguably people are considering, in people I've talked to, people are considering this tournament's best defensive core. Czechia they arguably have the best defensive core. So seeing Blanar be at this position at this stage in his draft plus 1 year, or the year after he was drafted, that's pretty good progress. I'd say that's pretty good progress, better than steady. So whether he makes the roster, whether he doesn't, as a Bruins fan, you have to look at this as a very good sign for the prospect pool for years to come in your back end. Blanar is definitely he has a lot of things to fine tune with this game, but that's what development is. And it would be better for him, I think, if he was able to play in these World Junior games just to get that best on best taste. But even if he doesn't, the fact that he was considered, I mean, that's really cool as well. So you have to feel good about that if you're a Bruins fan. Looking down the future, having 3 skilled players who are all very talented in their own ways in consideration as prospects for their teams. It's a really comforting sign for the future, especially with how past perception of our prospect pool was. That's it for the juniors talk. The Bruins have 2 first round picks as of today, so there's obviously a lot of players that you're going to want to look out for that are 2026 draft eligible. Remember, the Bruins have Toronto's pick, which right now is a pretty early first round pick, but it is top 5 protected. So if it goes within the 1 to 5 range, that ain't our pick. Ain't our pick, guys. But yeah, you still have 2 first round picks, and there are a lot of players that are 2026 draft eligible that I think Bruins fans should be looking out for. Most of those players, I'll probably just put up a little graphic to my left or right, or just in my face, like right now. Like totally do it, Marcus. No, but yeah, there's a ton of guys that we should be looking out for. I think that there's a lot of talent that can't be missed at the World Juniors. In a best on best tournament like this, you want to see which guys really make the most impact. And especially with the opportunity the Bruins have in this upcoming draft, It'd be good to take some notes for everybody. I know I certainly am. I probably should be doing that now, but I'm making this YouTube video instead. So, uh, whatever. Anyways, two Spengler Cup guys, both on the U.S. Collegiate Selects team, and the best part, the best part about having these two guys is the fact that how do I put it? The best part about having these two guys on this U.S. Collegiate Selects team is the fact that they're later round picks, but they've been cooking in college hockey, and I'll say they've been cooking in college hockey in the sense that these guys are just like bona fide studs. First guy I want to highlight on the U.S. Collegiate Selects as a Bruins prospect is Chris Pelosi. Pelosi has 20 points, yeah, in 18 games for Quinnipiac this year in the ECAC. 10 goals, 10 assists. He even had a hat trick in one of his games. I forget which one, but you knew what Pelosi was. He's a very solid, he's a very solid player in the sense that he can play in all three zones. Defensively, his presence is felt there. In the neutral zone, he can carry the puck. He can forecheck. I look at him as sort of a do-it-all kind of player and someone that I think falls under the radar in terms of Bruins prospects. But this year, in his sophomore year with Quinnipiac, he's just been on fire. And that's something you want to see out of later round picks. Like, you want to nail those later round picks. And he feels like the way he's playing, he feels like he's a guy who in the future, I'm not saying the near future, but I'm saying like in the future, that's a guy you could plug. I'm not I'm way far down the line here, guys. Just want to put that out there. But in terms of his play style, that's a guy you could look at and say, okay, here's a reliable player that we can look at who would play the right way. He's got a lot of speed to him too. I must say. Um, Looking at Pelosi, I think it's good that he's getting some international experience in his own way at the Spengler Cup. The other guy I want to talk about is also in the ECAC from Cornell. He's the captain of the Big Red, Ryan Walsh. They don't play the Ivy schools don't start or they start much later because he's just played less games. But in 11 games, he scored 12 points, 3 goals, 9 assists. He's above a point per game. He's one of few Bruins prospects under the age of 25. I say 25 because we take a while to like actually put our prospects um, into like NHL positions. But yeah, he's fourth on the in the Bruins prospect pool among under 25 players in point per game, and he's played only 11 games. Walsh, I look at it is he's another one of those just like solid players. He's definitely a playmaker on the power play in the highlights I've seen him. A leader too, someone that can't be overlooked in that aspect. I think people in general though, like when we talk about these players as fans, we only look at players and just like what they do on the ice. We don't take into account like the character, right? And I think that's something that the Bruins don't miss on. They really prioritize like having the right guys in a locker room. Just want to highlight that, point that out in these two tournaments. If you wanted to watch the World Juniors tournament, I know for Americans it's on NHL Network. So that's one way you could do it. NHL Network's like they just put on the TSN broadcast. So there's that. Also, I want to point out for the Spengler Cup, the way you can watch that, the Spengler Cup has a YouTube channel, and that's where all the games are broadcast. So if you want to watch those, make sure you follow those socials and follow along that way. I will be trying to highlight as much as I can these players through my trip. I'll be trying to watch them as much as I can. I'll be trying to watch the Bruins as much as I can. But I just wanted to ensure to you guys that I got this out really quick. Um, just talk a bit about these players, highlight their achievements, and overall just highlight that this is a pretty good spot the Bruins prospect pool's in. Organizationally, you love to see their young guys from later rounds come up. The guys you've brought in over the past year are starting to really sprout up, even though like James Higgins has always been like a hockey prodigy. But you get what I'm saying. It's all in all a very good sign for the organization that your future prospects are playing so well at the levels they're at. And the fact that they're selected for these teams for international competition, you love to see it. So I'm glad I'm making this kind of video. I'm glad that you guys have been following along for a while. It means a lot. So want to get this out really quick. Happy Boxing Day for those who celebrate. Yeah, stay warm too, because it's cold. So I love you guys. Appreciate y'all following along. And let me know what you thought of this video. I will see you legends in the next one. Bye bye.